Hi, everyone. I'm Cynthia Toussaint at Women in Pain Nation. And today I'm going to do a hot take interview. These are bite-sized conversations with women in pain and pain experts that speak to the lived experience of those of us with chronic pain. So that means everybody watching, and of course, all the caregivers. So welcome, everybody. Okay, so today I am going to be talking with the lovely Sara Gehrig. And Sara has lived with more than 30 years of chronic pain, made worse 6 years ago after lumbar spinal fusion had extreme complications. We never like to hear that. She turned that around for the good and has made it her life's work to share her lived experience so others feel seen, heard, and believed. Okay, Sara is an active volunteer for the U.S. Pain Foundation and runs more than at least two, I should say, support groups, one for the LGBTQ community and another for the Wisconsin-based group, and we'll have her tell us about the others. Sara lives in northern Wisconsin and is grateful for the support of her partner and her circle, and she says that her greatest joys in life are her wonderful sons, Gavin and Connor. So all of that said, welcome, Sara Gehrig. Hi, Sara.
Hi.
All the way from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
thank you so
thank you.
much. Thank you for being my guest today. We all look so forward to hearing from you. No pressure, but but I know you have a lot of great wisdom. And the reason I know that is because you wrote well, first of all, I just got to talk to you for a bit, but also you wrote for Grace's March Story of the Month, where you wrote about what we're going to be talking about. Our topic today is the connection between chronic pain and loneliness and or social isolation, as you know. And the reason that for Grace is putting a lot of emphasis on this issue, we did it last year, we're doing it again this year, and probably again next year, is that recently the U.S. Surgeon General called loneliness and isolation a public health crisis. And that's in the overall, I didn't want to say regular, the overall community. So if we look at the pain community, we kind of have to, double that, triple that, times really 100. So thank you so much for being my expert here as a woman in pain when it comes to this issue. So I want to just jump right in and have you tell us, as you did in your beautiful story, what is the difference to you between being alone and loneliness? Are they different?
For me, they are, and maybe not for everyone. For me, living with pain, and I have a lot of neuropathic pain, I'm on high alert. My body's on high alert. So I need time alone. It's a big piece of my pain management. So I need time alone to rest my body, quiet my mind, get grounded, have quiet time, stillness. Meditation is a big part of my pain management. So for me to be alone, it's time to reset. It helps me get grounded, come up with new ideas, time to listen to my body. So for me, being alone I don't feel lonely when I'm alone. It's just to get lower the stimulus, because again, like I said, for me, I'm on high alert. My body is on that high alert with pain and my neuropathic pain. For me, loneliness is when I'm misunderstood, when I'm dismissed, when I'm up in the middle of the night with pain for the last how many nights, and how many more nights is this going to go on? When I'm, when my two sons are off with their dad and it's something that I can't do and I'm home, that's loneliness to me. So to me,
Very different.
Yeah, they're very different to me.
Yeah, so I mean, I relate with that. I mean, I'm an extrovert. I get energy from being with people. Coming from a performance background, I love that. But I never really growing up had like time to be alone. Occasionally when I did, I always really appreciated it. I will say today, my alone time, I do what I'm not going to say. I'm not going to finish that sentence. I guess I want to say, I deal more with loneliness than alone time, because I agree with you. Alone time. I like that idea of listening to your body. I've gotten very good at that. I think even when I'm with people. But loneliness, I was wondering kind of what is the difference. And I asked Siri what the definition of loneliness is. I thought it was interesting because she said, right? She said, loneliness is an unpleasant emotional response to perceived isolation. Loneliness is also described as social pain, which I thought was really interesting. So it's pain, social pain, a psychological mechanism that motivates individuals to seek social connections. So I kind of thought, well, that's a silver lining, because we actually seek social connections because we're in this social pain. But that was interesting, because for me, loneliness is really my separateness, because I'm in pain, and because like to get out of our condominium, I need a caregiver, and very often a wheelchair. And so people I notice people in our country tend to see a wheelchair as like the last step before death. And we're so afraid of death that to me, that's a reason for being lonely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
I guess when I ask questions, I start thinking, what does that mean to me too? I'm curious, in your support groups, and I know you run more than two since I reached out to you and asked you to do this interview. What are your other support groups? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I run a teen pain warrior group, a caregiver care partner group. I run a national daily group that meets every day. Those are the added ones besides the LGBTQ group, my Minnesota and Wisconsin state group. And then I run a national last Saturday of the month group. So yeah, those are the ones I lead. So
that's quite enough,
groups,
Sarah.
6 or 7 groups, yeah.
So I'm curious, with your 7 groups, how often do you hear people in those groups talking about their loneliness or social isolation as a result of their chronic pain?
It comes up often, and in those, in such different settings. And if I could, like recently in the caregiver care partner group, loneliness came up in a way of, I just wish when my friends call me, they would call to ask about me first, or me at all. It's always about the person that they're caring for. That's really lonely to me. It's a lonely place to be. And, that's on the caregiver side. On the teen side, I'm loneliest when my loneliness comes up when my peers are signing up for the next season sport and I can't. And then I have to hear about it at school. That's their loneliness. Or my loneliness comes up when I'm now having to homeschool. What a lonely place to be.
Right. Wow. Those are really touching.
So, completely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody's lonely in a different way. That's wow. It's too bad we can't all be lonely together. I mean, then we wouldn't be lonely. I mean, yeah. Okay. So loneliness and pain just seem to go hand in hand. And I'm wondering why that is. I mean, for me, it's that separateness.
Separateness.
It's that, yeah, we're different. I mean, we're different because, as you mentioned, people don't understand us, or as I mentioned, the wheelchair scares them. Or I even notice, like when I go to my local YMCA, I'm a big swimmer. I have the least amount of pain when I swim, and I go to a Y that's small enough where I don't have to use my wheelchair, and I can fake it, And I'm not even trying to fake it, but there are enough places for me to sit before I get out to that pool that people don't notice. They don't know that I'm disabled. So if somebody new shows up, they might say, it's happened so many times, hey, you want to go out for coffee, this week? And they really want to get together. You want to be, start a friendship. But then when I mention, well, I need to bring my caregiver. He needs to drive me. And then we have to find a place that's, close enough so that I can either walk to it or, use a wheelchair. They don't really want to go out for coffee anymore. It's like, it's too, it doesn't work for them anymore. It's that being separate. So it's just disturbing, isn't it? I don't know. It makes me sad. Are there any other reasons that you think that loneliness and chronic pain and loneliness just fit like hand in glove?
I think once it gets to that chronic becomes so long that people stop asking. And then, that was another piece is people stop asking, and then it's like it's forgotten.
Or maybe they don't want us to talk about it anymore. Like,
they don't want us to talk about it because it's been so long. It's still going on. It doesn't go away like that, the common cold, or you break an arm, and it's not visible to things too. It's not visible. Someone can understand you break an arm, it goes away. They can't understand how that you feel that bad for that long. That doesn't,
unless they have it. I meet a lot of people at the pool who have chronic pain, and then they get it, or people kind of be around me, and it's like maybe at a social gathering, and I have pain, and they want to talk because they really don't have anybody to talk to. Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to move on to something sort of a more positive part of this connection between chronic pain and loneliness. So in your story, you wrote about advocating for yourself with your healthcare professionals. How does that help you feel less lonely?
For me, when I can advocate for myself with my healthcare professional, it makes me feel like a part of a team. I need to feel like I'm not alone in this. And if I can utilize my voice to say, this is my truth. You may not understand it. This may not show this, but this is how I'm feeling. And then I can feel like I'm a part of the team as well. And I have no problem saying, I need you to redo this. I need to do this. It's okay if you say, I don't know, but help me to get somewhere where we understand.
I like that, Sarah, especially, it's okay to say, I don't know. I love it when a doctor says, I know, I don't know. If you didn't say that, I wouldn't trust you. I don't, I've had so many bad experiences with doctors. It's like, especially with Western healthcare, I just try to stay out of it as much as I can. But I like the idea of you being a part of the team, And, we have to remember that if we're not a part of the team and we're not comfortable with that we can always fire our doctor and move on and interview somebody else. So, that's really powerful. I'm thinking, when I think of loneliness these days, I think of social media. For me, it's not, it adds to my loneliness, but everybody says something different. And I'm wondering, for you, does social media add to your loneliness, or does it subtract from your loneliness?
I can definitely see, and in the groups and then the people that I, facilitate, I can see where that would. For me, I use my social media platforms as a way to engage with the pain community and encourage the pain community. All my algorithms now are different people that are in the community so that we can lift up one another. But a lot of the people that they see what they used to be doing. And there was moments when I first had my failed procedure and all the things that I, was doing, I had to take a break and completely unplug. And that was okay too. But now, working at US Pain Foundation and volunteering, it's a way that I can show all the great things that are happening, all the new, we work a lot with advocacy, bills that are being passed, ways that you can get involved to feel empowered, so that's how I use it. But I can see where people see, well, that was my old life, and they can't engage. And I completely support that, being unplugged from it as well.
The reason it makes me, I mean, there are definitely positives to social media, but I don't like it because I love the reaching. I just love calling somebody up, or I love it when people used to drop by. They don't anymore, but I always love that, and I miss that. Like, it seems like people put something up on Facebook instead, and it's like, wait, is this instead of life? You know, I just can't. I'm not good at accepting that. But at the same time, I'm having a very important meeting tomorrow with two people, and they're on the East Coast, and we get to see each other, and I know that will make our meeting much more productive. So, you know, as opposed to being on the phone. So I mean, I see both, but I know when computers came out, I'm like, I refused to get one until finally a friend gave us one. So what would we do without it? But anyway, it's an interesting issue because I know teenagers, which makes me sad. I guess I just wish we could have a better balance. But okay, something you talked about in the story that I hope everybody reads right after watching this interview. You spoke about your self-compassion as a gift. Can you tell me about that? Especially like touch?
Yes, it took me a long time to get there. And I could tell you, Cynthia, please show yourself grace, self-compassion. And it took me a long time. I was slow to get there, but with positive affirmation, self-talk, self-touch, to say to myself, Sara, I know this is hard, and to, rub a spot on my leg, where my nerve pain is so bad, and just to put a hand on it and say, I see you, I feel you, you're okay. I know this is hard. I love you. Or to put even a hug myself and say, I know this is hard. If I can't love myself through this all, how is someone else going to show me that love too? And so, but once I started doing that, and, especially laying in bed at night is usually when it's worst, to honor where I am in these moments. And if I can't do something, I can't. And if I can, I do. But just really sharing that, because, I just really had to get there. I'm so good at telling anyone else, show yourself grace, but I really had a hard time doing it for myself.
Interesting. I mean, I for so many years what would I say? You can't help other people unless you help yourself first, but I was never doing it. And then finally people really pointed that out enough, and I've got a short little harem. But I'm finally like really seeing that as far as the self-love and the touch. I mean, every day, ever since I got very aggressive cancer in 2020 and a recurrence in 2022. I found out it was all from the childhood trauma, and trying to fix a very dysfunctional family. And I started doing a lot of trauma release work. I'm still doing that. I just saw an EMDR therapist, and I'm like doing this every day, and talking to myself, rocking myself. We did another one like this. It's a lot of touch. I was thinking about that. Oh, I feel so good every day. And then I prayer every day, positive affirmations, mantras, talking to my inner child, and I do a mindfulness meditation every day. And my partner, John, knows that late afternoon when I'm over there on the couch or sitting out on the balcony, that he stays away. That is my alone self-love. Also that positive self-talk, like you were talking about how you talk to yourself and rub different parts that hurt. And I call myself sweetheart. And it's just like, we got to love ourselves first. And that's just so important. And it really works.
Yeah, it does.
Really, I really resonated with that part of your article. Something else, the last thing I want to talk to you, where did the time go? So something you wrote in your piece that I loved, and I'd love for you to expand on it. And I'll quote you. You wrote, "Loneliness is my companion, but I am not alone." Can you explain that?
Yeah, I am not alone. There is a pain community out there. There is a big pain community out there. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And I was at my bottom with it until I found, my community was the U.S. Pain Foundation when I started going there to the group. And then, it has made to find people who get it, to make sense out of all the things, all the experiences I was having the day to day with pain, and to be with people that are like-minded and like-bodied. I know that it's going to be with me, but then to be able to have those people that you take them with you, you take their experiences with you, and then you have this weird thing happen, but you're like, oh, but I know that others are going through this with me. They can empathize, like you said, we're in our talk. It's like when other people can't quite understand, if I don't understand it, a lot of other people don't, but at least people that are walking in it with you,
Well, it makes us not feel, pun intended, not feel so alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we know other people are dealing with the same thing and they get it and they don't look at us like we have three heads,
Yeah.
I remember that being just a huge source of strength for me when I first started meeting people who were dealing with the same. I have complex regional pain syndrome, and gosh, it was before we started For Grace, probably maybe 35 years ago, and I was doing media, and people would call, maybe the writers or producers, and want to talk to me, like, oh my God, like somebody else had it. And that was so comforting to me. And so I understand. I didn't know that that's what you meant. And so I'm glad that I asked you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Sara Gehrig. We somehow went way over time. I didn't expect that, right? This is such an important topic, and I appreciate your time so much, and your expertise and your care and the great work you do on behalf of everybody with pain. Thank you. We appreciate you, and you're helping all of us. So thank you for teaching us today, and know that I will be calling on you again.
Please do.
We nonprofit leaders tend to do. Thank you so much for giving me the okay. I won't forget it. Thank you, Sara Gehrig. And thank you, everybody else, for joining me on another wonderful hot take interview. And we learned so much today about loneliness and isolation from lovely Sara Gehrig. And in the comment section below, please tell us your experience as a woman in pain. Are you dealing with loneliness? Are you not dealing with loneliness? And did you pick up some tips that you're going to try from this interview today? And we want to know about that too. So Sara Gehrig and I are just two inquiring minds who look forward to hearing from you. Okay, Cynthia Toussaint, signing off, Women in Pain Nation. But I'll be back soon, and I hope you are too. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.